been to a Super Bowl because of your schedule?
No, I have no desire to go to a Super Bowl. I'd rather go to Game 2 or Game 3 in the World Series. I want to go to the first one or the last one. I've had tons of opportunities to go to the Masters, but I'd rather watch it on TV. You only can watch one hole at a time. On TV, they jump holes. I can watch like 5
Change all the walking.
Yeah.
Why Game 2 or 3?
Because they're less madness at those games. Game 1 is crazy. Game 7 is going to be nuts. But Game 2 and 3, you slip in there and watch the game. Go out.
Next time that spotter walks into your coach's show, we'll just tell him, hey, get there and get you a good seat.
Yeah, just Game 2 or 3. So what is it? It's 2-2, 2-1. Is that it? Or 2-3-2? Yeah. Maybe Game 4. Game 4 sounds about as benign as it can be.
So current day, talking to LJ, I know you have pregame. You mentioned Oklahoma City. He's good. Oklahoma City's fine, but kind of.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of Reggie. When Reggie was, he had the surgery, so it had been Reggie's junior year. I remember we played at Alabama. He might as well have been playing with an arm behind his back. He was catching it against his forearm. But he had to have surgery on his knuckle. His is on his shooting hand, on his right little finger knuckle. It's painful. There was a play there where he got it hit. Might have been on the play that I insisted that they review, which was a shot clock play. They were just going to keep playing. But they weren't listening to much what I had to say yesterday. I said by rule you have to review that. And I said that should be overturned because it was a shot clock violation. The horn blew and the right-haired guy blew his whistle. You cannot blow your whistle and then call a foul because the whistle signals a dead ball. You cannot have a violation after a dead ball. But don't get me started on those guys yesterday.
You had a visitor when you got home last night with Jamal?
Yeah, at the bus.
Yeah.
Jamal was, so he had texted me, I didn't know he was going to be there. Lauren did, I did. The morning of his first start. They played today, right? They win?
No. He scored 14 in 18 minutes.
Yeah. Toronto really likes Jamal, and whether it's with Toronto or someone else, Jamal's going to have a long career because as he gets older, he doesn't have the role he had here with me, with the coach they had there because he's a rookie. Nobody's going to listen to him as a rookie anyway. As he gets older, his value will increase. One of the things that we try to do with all our kids that come here that want to play in the NBA is increase their values in areas they're not very good at, like Quentin with rebounding. Marcus being able to defend the point guard. They all have something that can create value for themselves. But Jamal will wind up being a really good coach one day. And as soon as I saw him, I kind of half expected him to want to know, how do you get off the bus and get out there so fast? So sometimes I look for him. I've been, when you're around a kid as these kids as like J1 after the years over, and you get in the summer and you realize it's the first time I've been here 11 years. 6 of the years I've been here, I've been with J1. When he was a little puppy, and now he's old hound dog laying by the fire.
What have you seen from Baylor and the freshman, VJ?
Right. Yeah. Well, I knew how good Wright was last year because early, I would go to see Mount Verde play. We were looking at the Queen kid, and I'd walk telling Quantas, I said that Robert Wright kid's Cooper Flagg, I'd watch him. I said, well, Cooper Flagg's the best player. But the most valuable player is Robert Wright. He's a winner. Great intangibles. He's fearless. He's not afraid the moment. And I think that helped turn Baylor's season around when Scott moved him to the starting point guard spot. He's a handful, man. He's really, really good.
They've had, at times, Langston was out, Jeremy Roach has been out, VJ came back, so it seems like they're starting to get guys.
Yeah, I think yesterday was they were pointing to that game. Because, the team that was ranked in the top 10 in the country, it's like our team is not the team we are supposed to be without Emanuel. Ever how good we were supposed to be was with Emanuel in there. You can't take Emanuel out and say, what's wrong with you guys? Well, that's not the way this works. You're not going to be as good when your main players are gone. If J1 were to go out and we'd lose a couple in a row, I said, what? I thought you guys were better than this. Roach and Edgecombe, Langston Love, Wright. Their backcourt's a handful. That's what makes this league so good. Texas Tech's great backcourt. Arizona's got a great backcourt. Kansas has a great backcourt. I like our backcourt. There's so many great backcourts in this league, but I'm not sure anybody has the depth of Baylor. How many they have? Wright, Edgecombe, Roach. Who's the other one? I'm getting a brain cramp on them. But they got a lot of guys that can make all conference. That's how you win the conference. Have a lot of guys that can make all conference.
At the beginning of the week, you had told us that the plan on Emanuel was at least these 2 games. Have you sort of reevaluated, or has he been checked out to where?
Emanuel was like a horse in the barn yesterday. I had to make sure I told. He was going to John, telling me he felt good. I said, well, good. You'll be ready to go Monday night. So he'll be ready to go tomorrow.
How important is self-scouting? Kelvin was saying that he thinks you watch more film on your own team and know your own team a lot, better than most of them.
Well, I should. I mean, it's my team. I'm sure there's nobody out there in the world that knows more about my team than I do, since I'm the coach. I watch these other teams, but it doesn't take long to figure out what is it they're good at, who their best player is, who they play through, what's their plan, what's their North Star. But the best teams are the ones that are most simple. They're not complicated. People think basketball needs to be complicated. It's not. It's real simple. When Florida was I remember in Florida won back-to-back championships, I only think they had 3 plays. They just isolated you. Throw it to the post. If you doubled them, they'd throw it out and swung it and shot it. Or they'd double the post, they'd throw it out, swing it, they'd drive it and throw it to the guy in the corner. I mean, simple. Basketball's a simple game. There's nothing complicated about it. And then defense, how do they guard pick and rolls? What's their plan on the wing? They deny the entry pass. And if they do, how strong a denial is it? But your team, you're constantly having to change because these other coaches are changing. Like the second half, we started the game off on a 9-0 run, and could have been more. I mean, we not necessarily scripted, but we know where we wanted to go with the ball, and we got it there and made shots. And make shots, your offense always looks good. But we were getting good shots. Now, a lot of games we'll get good shots and the ball doesn't go in. There's nothing wrong with your offense. Sometimes the ball just don't go in, It's like buying bingo cards. Sometimes you just don't get the right numbers, You need a G50 instead of G48. Sometimes it's that simple. But a team like Baylor, they spread you, they drive you. And from what I've seen of them last night and today, is they're the best transition offensive team we've seen. I mean, they get the ball up the court quick. That Edgecombe kid is he's a load. And anytime you have the best player on the floor, you always have an advantage. I always thought that when I had Hollis Price. When I had Hollis Price, I always thought I had an advantage. That's why his teams won most of the games they played. Because the other teams didn't have anybody better than Hollis. Not many teams have anybody as good as Edgecombe. Edgecombe's a huge advantage for them. He's tough.
Did you sign a new player?
JVA. I said, JVA, you weren't that bad yesterday. Then I looked at the film, I said, yeah, you were.
So that's the pivots?
Yeah. I said, JVA, I'm thinking maybe you were in the witness protection program, so the least amount of time you spent on the floor, they wouldn't recognize you. You got out there, and I remember my first year, the first game I coached here was against Murray State over in Kentucky. And we had a kid that we recruited damn near in August. What was that left-handed kid's name? He was from Albania. That played for us our first year, the left-handed kid, Eggy.
Eggy.
Yeah, Eggy had 5 fouls in 5 minutes. Yeah. So, but Jay was on track. Yeah. I said, Joe, don't get tired. It's like, if you get tired, I'm gonna have to put Jay in. I really don't want to do that. I felt